Over the years, I've made many videos exposing the controlled opposition, such as Mark Dice, as you see here. This is a very important topic I want to go over again. I'm going to connect it all with when it comes to Freemasonry. And these are the people behind the scenes pulling the strings behind all these mainstream and alternative controlled opposition. First off, let's take a look here at Mark Dice and his channel. Almost 1 million followers, almost 1 million deceived followers when it comes down to it. Giving you enough truth, just enough truth to keep you locked in a box. That's what it's about. They're going to feed you a certain amount of truth, giving up important information, but not giving you the full truth. Once again, keeping you locked in a box. Just like Alex Jones, as you see here. Nothing more than basically an actor just playing the role of Alex Jones. Bill Hicks, as I mentioned many times in my previous videos, Alex Jones, of course, being 33 in numerology. His InfoWars being 33 as well. These concepts are not just by coincidence that they come up to 33, and of course, doing the 666 hand sign in plain sight. Again, getting back to the whole concept of the 33 and the controlled opposition, it goes back in time with Albert Pike, with this famous quote, "Whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him." And of course, you see the number 33, Albert Pike, being propped up, of course, because his name is 33 as well. Okay, just like the so-called anonymous group, which I can't stand, and their supporters wearing these stupid masks, think they're all enlightened, they know what's going on, and they don't have a clue. They're being herded like lost sheep when it comes down to it. Anonymous, you see this one website, Anonymous, AnonHQ.com for Anonymous. And why is it spelled AnonHQ? Okay, because it's 33. They control both sides. It doesn't mean they're not going to give you some truth, but again, just enough truth to keep you locked in a box. They're not going to tell you that this man here, Kim Jong-un, is a Mason, okay? They're not going to tell you the absolute truth about that. Of course not. Being spotlighted on primetime television with The View. Take a listen here. As basically when he was under the name John Connor, going by that name a few years back. Take a listen to what it said here. Again, promoting him. Of course, you're not going to be promoted if you're a real truth speaker on primetime television and with The View specifically here.
YouTube is like the final frontier of my addiction, you know, so at 4:30 in the morning you can find me on YouTube. So the political one, there's a couple of political ones, but the latest one I found, oh my God, I am like so crazy about this guy. It's called theresistancemanifesto.com.
Yes, this is the guy John Connor.
John Connor.
I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down. Give me a break. Of course you're going to write it down. Because Connor, John Connor, as in he's a Connor, is 33, as I mentioned before. So, again, all these little hidden Easter eggs with this piece of garbage, Mark Slice and Dice. This guy's a slime ball. Can't stand this guy. And, of course, being spotlighted, as many know, on CNN, Fox News, these big news networks, and, of course, also being on the History Channel, supposedly exposing the Statue of Liberty of being basically an Illuminati symbol, being Lucifer. But he's not going to give you the full truth. I'm going to get into details with this. Let's play this video clip going back from a few years ago when he was, again, spotlighted on History Channel.
What it means, you'll never look at it the same way.
Yeah, Illuminati facts and fiction. Like this guy, give me a break. Again, just going to give you partial truth, not the whole truth, of course. Here's your UN logo, the flat earth model. I'll get into that towards the end of the video.
The reason I wanted to meet you here at the United Nations is that David Rockefeller donated this land to create this center. He wrote in his memoirs that he and his family are often accused of being a member of a secret society dedicated to creating a one-world government. And he says, I am guilty and I'm proud. This is the birth child of a secret society.
Wow. And this is happening right now, here on these streets today.
Now, when they're on our show right here, they're pointing out these little security cameras, if I get to that right spot. Of course, being nothing more than a production. They're putting a subconscious seed in your mind that they're being watched. Like Mark Dice and his crew here are being watched by the police. Give me a break.
can you tell us a little more about the symbolism in the Statue of Liberty?
Absolutely. If you look at the radiant crown, she has these 7...
He calls it, I'm talking about the Statue of Liberty, a she. I'll get into that in a little bit. I'm going to first let him continue on here, just giving you partial truth.
Horns sticking out of her head. That's symbolic of the sun, representing enlightenment. Isn't enlightenment a good thing? Enlightenment is a good thing to them. It doesn't represent America. It doesn't represent freedom. It represents Lucifer, Satan.
Truth is, what it all comes down to, and I'll get back to the video, he again calls the Statue of Liberty a she, and that's absolutely false. It's an androgynous statue. Basically, as you see here with Helios, this is a man. You see the cloak, you see of course, the torch, the sun symbol, and this is basically the same exact concept, wearing the cloak, and this is a man. As you see here, about duality when it comes to Freemasonry, Alexander the Great, Helios, and Apollyon, or Apollo, all the same. Let's get a little bit of a closer look here. You can see Apollo, or Apollyon, which is mentioned in Revelation 9:11, the Bible, Apollyon being basically the Antichrist. So what you have here is an androgynous symbol being the Statue of Liberty or the Antichrist. Okay, let's take a look here as well with this, as I mentioned before in a previous video, with Laverne Cox, a play on names, with this transgender. This is an accurate depiction of the Statue of Liberty being a androgynous, being a transgender. And just another image right here as well. They're telling you what the Statue of Liberty is in plain sight, and millions upon millions of people are not going to get it. They're not going to understand this whole entire concept. Now, getting back to this piece of garbage, Mark Dice and the History Channel, let's continue on.
Satan. If you want to learn about political power, you must look at the Illuminati. If you're looking into the Illuminati...
Talking about the Illuminati, which is just a cover for Freemasonry. Illuminati, the name Illuminati just basically means it's a play on names as well, being illuminated and naughty with Illuminati. Continue on here.
Illuminati. The Statue of Liberty is just a footnote. The Illuminati identify with Lucifer, and that is their huge idol dedicating this country to him.
And again, Mark Dice not giving the full truth. This is, of course, an image of Baphomet, this androgynous being with the female breast and the male arms. Just like I showed earlier with the whole entire concept of Laverne Cox. This transgender, basically a representation of their Masonic goat god, Baphomet. Let's continue on here.
We should go find a place to sit down.
Yeah, right.
Let's just see what some other people have to think, some other prominent historical figures. I'll go to the Library of Congress and I'll show you George Washington's handwritten letter.
George Washington.
This was a letter written in 1798. It was not my intention to doubt the doctrines of the Illuminati, and the principles of Jacobinism had not spread to the United States. On the contrary, no one is more satisfied of that fact than I am. You doubted that they even continued to exist. George Washington says that they did.
He said the doctrines continue to exist, and maybe some of the doctrines did. It doesn't say that the people continue to exist.
How do you think the doctrine spread? Let's hear what President John F. Kennedy had to say about secret societies.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies.
I'm going to stop right there. Basically, you don't hear Mark Dice talking about George Washington being a Mason. He doesn't talk about John F. Kennedy being a Mason as well. Again, keeping people locked in a box, not giving the full truth. John F. Kennedy, again, nothing more than controlled opposition, as I mentioned many times in the past. Let's take a look at here, some photos. When you look at Kennedy standing here, and you see all these placards with his name, Kennedy, 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 in the background, all you're looking at, for the deceived masses will see, of course, see the name Kennedy. For those that are pulling the strings from behind the scenes, this is what they see. They see that number 33. That's why he was propped up. There's a lot of people out there that are always looking for a hero. There are no heroes. The world's a stage. And John F. Kennedy, without a shadow of a doubt, was nothing more than a deceiver. A very good deceiver, fooling millions upon millions of people. Let's take a look here. If he was really telling the truth, he would have outed NASA as being nothing more than a fraud. He never did that. Why not? Why didn't he go all the way and speak the truth about NASA being nothing more than a deception? Of course not. Again, just like Mark Dice, just like Alex Jones, only giving you partial truth. But again, people are always looking for a hero. Anybody that's propped up in this world, they are part of the world stage, and they're going to fabricate deaths just like they did with JFK. I've covered that several times in my previous videos, where the footage of him going down the streets of Dallas, Texas on Elm Street being spliced, nothing more than a deception, was Zapruder, a 33rd degree Freemason, just so happened to record the whole supposed event. It's very complex. The deception runs very deep. Let's take a look here at John F. Kennedy with the Masonic handshake, okay? You see him doing the Masonic handshake. And again, I know there's going to be people out there, they're going to say, well, he broke away at the very end. No, he didn't, okay? That's what you want to believe. Again, looking for a hero where there are none. Take a look here again with JFK, with the astronauts, okay? All here right in front of you. Take a look at this photo. I'm going to get to the occult before I show this Masonic handshake. Take a look here. What do you see in the background here with the sun symbol with the dome above the flat earth? Plain sight mockery. And again, with the astronauts and in the background, the truth in plain sight. Just like this, the whole entire concept of Columbia Pictures, of course, a reference to the so-called Statue of Liberty, basically the dome or the firmament. And of course, as you see here, the sun symbol, everything's in plain sight for those that have eyes to see. It's very, very obvious. Just like I pointed out before, in Cupertino, California, of course, you get your CC for 33. This is telescope.com's. This is where they're located. Okay, take a look here, and what do you see right in plain sight? You see basically, again, the same exact concept, which I showed earlier, with the dome and the firmament, biblical reference in plain sight. And as you see here, looking through the supposed telescope and seeing the flat horizon. Give me a break. This is how they do it. All in plain sight for all to see. But again, this is how they operate. Words are for deception, and they have their signs and symbols in plain sight as always. And just another look at JFK pushing the whole idea of going into space. Nothing more than basically a very good deceiver. Again, having millions upon millions of people deceive, giving you some truth, but not the whole truth. Just like, again, these deceivers of today. There's nothing new. And again, all the connections with the 33, like I stated. Okay, Anonymous being 33 with their website. Alex Jones being 33, as I mentioned earlier as well, with John Connor going by the name of Mark Dice. As I showed before, Connor being 33. The reason this name was selected, not just pulled out of thin air. These people, again, they're not going to tell you the truth about the flat earth. It's a deep rabbit hole, and people can't go here because, again, every which way you turn with these so-called truth speakers, they're not going to tell you about the flat earth.
John chapter 9, verse 25. Whereas once I was blind, now I can see. Now I can see. Now I can see.